spilling the tea on all things LV. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name's Johnathon. I make luxury videos, unboxings, and reviews. And today's video is going to be all about why I only purchase Louis Vuitton. So let's get into it. Before I get started with today's video, you guys know what to do. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help my channel grow. I make videos every Friday on luxury content, men's style, luxury unboxings, you name it, it's here on this channel. So if you like that kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to hear the reasons as to why I only purchase Louis Vuitton, then keep on watching. So I would say this is going to be a little bit of a story time. I have my morning coffee with me. It is nice, gloomy Sunday morning. I wanted to film this video for you because I do get asked this question quite a bit from my friends, from my family, from coworkers. They always ask me, why do I only ever purchase Louis Vuitton, or why do I mostly only purchase Louis Vuitton? And if you're not new to my channel, you're gonna see that my channel is pretty much dedicated to all things LV. I absolutely love the brand. There are more reasons as to why I love Louis Vuitton over other fashion houses. And that's why I decided to dedicate my whole YouTube channel to mostly Louis Vuitton content. Just because I absolutely love the brand. A lot of my collection is from Louis Vuitton, and I just have so much dedication towards this brand. So without further ado, grab a coffee, grab a tea, and let's get into today's video. So let's start from the beginning as to why and how I started my luxury obsession. So when I was a little boy, I always saw my mom buying all of these designer bags, mostly be Coach, Michael Kors, and a lot of contemporary, but at the time, those bags are what I was exposed to, and those were my definition of luxury. So I vividly remember every time that we were in Florida, always going into like a Coach boutique or a Coach outlet, and my mom would always buy a bag every time that we were on holiday. So I love that aspect. I always helped her pick out bags. I love just looking through a lot of the bags themselves, and I aspired to have one day. So as I was getting older, I started to make my own money. I worked a lot of part-time jobs. So I really did want to save my money for these items. And then it got to a point where I had my first New York City trip with my mom, and I purchased this guy. So I had saved over a year for this wallet just because I wanted something from Louis Vuitton. I don't know what it was at the time that made me want to purchase specifically my first luxury item from Louis Vuitton, but I just wanted to have that. I think it was because when I was little, I saw a lot of people who owned Louis Vuitton. They seemed a little bit like more classier. They were like more chic, and they just had like that je ne sais quoi to them. And I just noticed that they had Louis Vuitton items, whether it be a Louis Vuitton monogram handbag, the checkered print, and so on. I fell in love with the damier print right away. This was my very first love. I actually loved this print more than the monogram. And so I just saw this and I thought, this looks really classy. If I pull this out, people are gonna be like, oh my God, this guy is a gentleman. This guy is classic. And so I just went towards this. So at the time, I did pay about 500 Canadian dollars, I want to say, and that was a lot of money. This is probably over almost 10 years old. So $500 for an LV wallet was a lot of money for me. I saved up for a year's time to be able to purchase this item. And then from there, it kind of fed my addiction. So once I purchased one item, I was like, oh my God, I need to get like a matching key pouch. I need to get a matching scarf. I need to get matching this, matching that, just because I was absolutely in love with this piece. So fast forwarding, I started to kind of dive into the world of Louis Vuitton. I started adding little things here and there. When it was my birthday, I would ask for gift cards to Louis Vuitton. Granted, I never asked anybody to purchase these items for me. I just asked for little amounts here and there, so that way I can save them and collectively pool together all my birthday money, Christmas money, whatever have you, to be able to go in and purchase these items. So I just started to get a little bit addicted in that sense. As I was buying these items, I was kind of educating myself and looking at the history. I started to research the company itself. I discovered this little community on YouTube. So I was a huge avid of the YouTube consumption for a lot of these luxury YouTube videos because I was really curious as to why people purchase these items and what kind of sparked my interest in these items. So I was kind of curious to see if their reasonings were going to be the same as my reasonings. So I noticed that a lot of luxury YouTubers don't necessarily specific focus on one specific brand. They have multiple brands that they like to go with, which is completely fine. However, with me, when I was researching about Louis Vuitton, their heritage, how Mr. Vuitton started out, his whole journey of getting LV to where it is today really did intrigue me. And I'm a very dedicated individual. Once I have my dedication towards something, like I'm full force, I'm dedicated towards that. Whether it be family, relationships, my job, everything that I put into something, I go full force. So I just started to be more intrigued by it. And I really did love the aspect of coated canvas. At the time, I'll admit, I did think this was a leather piece and I didn't understand the full difference between coated canvas and leather. But now I do know the difference, don't get me wrong. But I was just intrigued by this and how well these things wore. Because I would be watching several YouTube videos. I was a huge consumer of luxury content on YouTube, which is why I kind of wanted to make my own channel because I wanted to eventually give a men's perspective on it. So I was consuming a lot of luxury content, seeing the pros, the cons, the uglies between Louis Vuitton and other designer brands. And a lot of people just had a reassurance that Louis Vuitton was number one. So I was like, okay, great. I'm gonna just continually invest my money into this brand. So fast forwarding to when I was a little bit older, I wanna say in my 20s, maybe late 20s, I kind of discovered that Louis Vuitton actually holds their value. When I was first buying these items, I did not think about their resale value at all. Now it's probably one of the deciding factors as to what I think about before I purchase an item. It helps me justify, if I'm being completely transparent, it helps me justify purchasing some of these items. Just because if I ever do fall out of love with any of these items, I know I could possibly recoup 90% of my money, if not 100% of my money. That's probably one of the reasons why I continue to stick with Louis Vuitton. But the reason why I continue to stick with Louis Vuitton is I have a huge sentimental for this wallet itself. I just absolutely love how I took the time to save for this item. And so I just continue to gravitate towards the brand. Just has a huge sentiments to my life. I love this piece to death. I cannot ever get rid of it. And I just love the fact that you can hot stamp it. Me being a 17-year-old naive individual who purchased his first luxury item, thought that hot stamping was like a complete game changer. I did not realize that other designer brands at the time do offer this kind of service, but I just thought that it is such a personal aspect to have like your initials on something to show that like if this does get passed down to a future generation, they're gonna see that my initials were on there and this belonged to me. So I was a huge sentiment for that and I absolutely love that fact. Granted, did a 17-year-old need a $500 wallet? Probably not, but it's the fact that I saved up for it that really did drive me towards wanting to keep carrying this wallet around with me. So it has a huge sentimental value to me. Louis Vuitton itself has a huge sentimental value to me, and that's why I continue to purchase from the brand. I absolutely love the materials. As you can see, this wallet, as I mentioned, is like over 10 years old, and it just looks in immaculate condition. I did try to branch out because my mom is a huge advocate for being like, you don't want to have everything the same, you need to branch out, you can't just always buy Louis Vuitton. To this day, she still tells me the same thing.
Jonathan, stop buying Louis Vuitton, go buy Dior, go buy Gucci, go buy Fendi, go buy anything besides Louis Vuitton. Don't you have enough?
That's probably the number one question that I get asked. Jonathan, don't you have enough LV? And in my opinion, I can never have enough LV. I just absolutely love the brand. But I did try to venture into Gucci. And this is probably one of my hesitancies as to why I didn't want to venture out. So I had bought this Gucci wallet for myself. I would honestly want to say when I was like 20 years old. This is when I was more actively working part-time and I was generating a little bit more substantial disposable income for a 20-year-old, let's say. So I did get this Gucci wallet from the boutique, and as you can see, I did use this wallet to death. I do use all of my SLGs for the most part. There will be a video coming up that I will be sharing with you as to items in my collection that I have not yet used, but why. But this item I did use very heavily, as you can see. And I want to say I paid about $200, $250 for this wallet. And it was about half the price of the Louis Vuitton wallet. So I was like, okay, you know what? If Louis Vuitton has this great quality, I'm sure other designer houses are going to have the same quality. So I'm like, let me try Gucci. My mom is telling me, try something else, try something different. So I tried Gucci. And the reason why I went with wallets at the time is because they were a little bit more affordable for me. At the age of like 17 to 20, I could not afford a $3,000 handbag. It was just not in the cards for me at the time. So I just went with smaller SLGs that would kind of like give me a little bit of a taste for the brand itself, which is what I'm a huge advocate for on this channel, which is why I have so many SLGs. If you're looking to dive into a specific designer house, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out their SLG section to find their more entry-level pieces, so that way you can see how the brand works in your lifestyle. So I purchased this wallet, I used it to death, and then I started to see that the canvas itself was fraying, the actual wallet is just coming apart, and granted, I've had this wallet in less amount of time than I did with the Louis Vuitton wallet. So this kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I spent $200 plus on this wallet and the wallet started to fray. I want to say after about like a year and a half of use. And at the time, I wasn't actively switching out my wallets just because I only had the two at the time. So I didn't have an abundant amount of SLGs as I do now. So that way I would be constantly switching them out on a weekly basis. I used them to death probably like at a year and a half time each. And then I would switch to another one. Or when I decided I wanted to get like, I was a little bit bored with it, so I wanted to switch them out, I would switch them out. Versus now, just like every week, I'm just constantly just like switching out my SLGs so they don't all get worn out. But to have this happen to my wallet within a year and a half time, I was kind of really gutted about it. I was like, oh my god, like this is not resaleable. Like I cannot sell this if I wanted to. Like it's just not the condition that people would want to buy these items in. So I was kind of a little bit gutted by that. So that's why I've kind of been really turned off on Gucci. I'm probably going to give them another chance. They do have this one bag that I absolutely love that I'm thinking about purchasing. But knowing what I know now, I know that I have to be a little bit more careful with Gucci compared to Louis Vuitton. But this is what kind of turned me off. And this is what kind of kept my spark for Louis Vuitton, is the fact that like I've had this wallet for longer compared to the Gucci one, and it just held up tremendously. So that's why I continue to buy the Louis Vuitton SLGs. Regardless of the price point of canvas versus leather, I know there's a huge debate as to why these canvas pieces are so expensive. But to be honest, they hold up, they hold their own no matter how much you use them. And it's just really carefree. A perfect example of the whole canvas holding up is I recently went out to bowling and dinner with my cousins for his birthday, and we were having a couple of drinks, and a cup of beer accidentally fell over and got all over my Keepall XS. Honestly, everybody was like freaking out at the table saying, oh my god, we're so sorry, we got beer on your bag, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't really as worried about it just because I know that I can easily wipe that off and nothing will affect the bag itself. If I were to get beer on a Gucci canvas material, I honestly don't think it would be salvageable. I think that the actual material itself would be a little bit ruined, and I would be more gutted at that point. But because it was my Louis Vuitton Keepall, it's coated canvas, I know for a fact that it is in good shape, and I can just easily grab a non-scented wipe, a water wipe, whatever have you, wipe it off, and it'll be good to go. And that's exactly what I did. I wiped it off and it looks great. So I am a huge advocate for Louis Vuitton for multiple reasons. Their quality of materials I get has been diminishing, but compared to the other fashion houses, you know, when something gets completely popular, they have to meet their demands. People are wanting these items left, right, and center. I get that. So their craftsmanship has gone down compared to some of the original items that I do have. But I will still be an LV guy through and through. It's just something that I have huge sentiments towards. I absolutely love the brand, the heritage, the materials that they use. The customer service that I get from Louis Vuitton is just impeccable. I know a lot of people will argue that these are luxury houses. They should be treating you with 100% plus customer service. But you'd be surprised sometimes walking into other fashion houses, it's just not something that they really care for because they know people will buy it regardless. Granted, I've heard a lot of stories that a lot of people who purchase LV now, they don't get the same customer satisfaction. However, when I go into my boutiques, especially some of the smaller ones that we have here in Toronto, I walk in and the sales associates know who I am, so they help me out right away. So I absolutely love LV for their quality, for their craftsmanship, for their heritage, for just the sentiments that it has. And that's probably why I do stick to Louis Vuitton, just because it is my comfort zone. I know that my money is being spent wisely for luxury items. Don't get me wrong, these items are priced at a really significant price point. But for me, I know that I can recoup my money if I choose to do so. And there's just this whole luxury community that is just really dedicated to the brand. Looking at these Facebook groups, everybody is supportive of one another. Yes, we all love luxury items, but I feel like more so for Louis Vuitton, a lot of people are willing to help each other out. I'm a part of some of the Chanel groups, and I've had one coworker and one friend who asked me to help them find a Chanel essay. I tried to find her one, and a lot of people who have a Chanel essay are not really willing to give their essay away for some reason. They're not really willing to help other people purchase items from the boutique because I feel like they think they're gonna lose away that essay. Versus like if you have a Louis Vuitton essay, you want to share that person with everybody. You want your essay to help everybody out. And I just feel a lot of support and love with other Louis Vuitton fanatics than I do with other fashion houses. I don't know if that's just me. Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you experience that with other people that you know? Do they really not want to give away their essays if you really want to purchase something? But I know for Louis Vuitton, if I have an amazing essay, I'm going to share that with that person. So that way I can share my love and be excited for that person when they purchase their item. So this was my quick video. This is spilling the tea as to why I only purchased LV. I hope you guys enjoyed this little bit of a chit chat kind of video. I hope it was kind of exciting and informative and gives you the reason as to why I purchased LV. If you're in the same situation, let me know down in the comment section below. Why do you specifically purchase from the same fashion house over and over compared to others? If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're so close to 1,000 subscribers. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.